reported a good set of Q2 numbers, reported its highest ever quarterly distribution since listing as well. Amit Shetty, who is the CEO at Embassy REIT, is joining us to discuss now in terms of distribution, their gross leasing, the pipeline going forward, and a lot more. Amit, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me, and good afternoon, viewers.
So highest ever quarterly distribution since listing. We'll talk about what the guidance there is. You're at the midpoint already, but what was the gross leasing that you saw in Q2 and the first half as well?
Yeah, so the first half, we saw about 3.5 million square feet of gross leasing. The Q2 was, again, stellar performance. We leased about 1.5 million square feet of that 3.5 million square feet on the backdrop of very strong GCC demands.
Okay, so it's coming from GCC, not so much from the, core IT sector that used to be the driver earlier?
Yeah, I mean, look, the ITES sector has been a little bit muted for quite some time now. The demand is typically driving from the GCC sectors. Yeah, but again, this quarter, about 38% of the demand came from domestics as well, right? So that's interesting.
Okay, so midpoint, would you be looking to hike the guidance, FY26 guidance at a little over 25 rupees?
See, look, we're actually in a very comfortable position today as we speak, right? So our focus is on increasing the occupancy as well as delivering a pipeline. We've just declared a 7.2 million square feet development pipeline, which will give us about 630 crores of annualized NOI.
Okay.
So that's where we are, yeah.
Interestingly, we spoke to Mindspace REIT today as well, and they indicated some of the micro markets are seeing exponential rise in rentals, 100 per square feet in one of the macro markets in Hyderabad itself. That's the case for you as well in some of the places. How are the rentals ongoing right now?
Right. See, the rental rates are actually firming up across the country. If you see across the country, the rental rates have firmed up anywhere between 5 to 12% at a minimum. But again, flight to quality is is something which every customer is expecting. And I think, we've always got a premium to the market. Right, so the rental rates, the vacancies are declining, and
how much higher are those premiums? Is what I wanted to understand.
So anywhere between 10 to 15% premium to the market, right? Plus there is a rental increase itself. So yeah.
So what is the typical tenure of an agreement that you have, and what percentage of your portfolio is up for renegotiation?
Typically, these tenures are about 15 years contracts.
Okay.
5 plus 5 plus 5, and the first 5 years or 3 years are locked in.
Okay. So FY26, 27, anything up for negotiation?
So a lot of that, see, across, I think, the next 4 years, we have about 36.1 million square feet of contracted escalations, right?
Okay.
But our expiries are coming down. Approximately about 1.5 million square feet is about for expiries. But then that's, it's got a mix of exits as well as renewals as well, yeah?
Okay, so it'll be a mix at that 36 million square feet number that you saw.
So 36 million is a contractual escalation,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
And what will that number typically be? It will be lower than the market.
That number could be anywhere in the range of about 14-15% because, typically the contractual escalations are about 15% every 3 years or 5% per annum.
And typically now when you go and onboard new assets, what is the mode of capex? Do you take on debt or would you look at accruals itself?
See, look, we've always been very opportunistic on that sense, right? So, if debt is cheaper, we'd like to fund it through debt. If equity is cheaper, we continuously monitor the markets. So, we'll be very opportunistic on our, acquisition strategy.
So, keeping aside the financials of it, how you're going to fund it depending on whichever is cheaper, are you going to look at more micro markets? What kind of capex have you set aside in terms of new asset acquisitions?
Okay, let me begin with our development pipeline. So, there is organic growth of about 7.2 million square feet that we'll be developing. I think we'll be spending about 4,000 crores on that, right? But having said that, inorganic growth is predominantly based on, a couple of criteria. The asset quality itself needs to match our asset quality, which is campus style, ESG grade. The second thing is that we want to operate in the top 6 cities of the country, right? So, we'll be very opportunistic. We don't have a budget per se, but, if it meets these criteria, we'll jump at the opportunity.
What is, according to you, an ideal mix, commercial versus hospitality?
So, look, hospitality is, we are a very focused office REIT, right? So, hospitality has always been part of our total business ecosystem offering, and it's been a part of a central amenities, right? So, and having said that, hospitality has always been very accretive. We grew our NOI by about 12% this quarter. So, there currently is about 6%, and we want to hover around that.
Right.
Okay, so we'll touch base upon hospitality in greater detail, but that's it for today now, Amit. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and telling us about the future outlook of the business and a lot more. Always a pleasure speaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you.